Hello, everybody. Dirk Beveridge here with We Supply America, coming to you live from San Luis Obispo, California, after what has been an absolutely crazy morning. It's something that underplanned for on this trip in terms of finding the bandwidth for these live Thursdays. But I have to tell you something. San Luis Obispo, California, I think is going to be better than Bliss, Idaho last Thursday, where I came to you live from a McDonald's and a drive-through somewhere in Bliss, Idaho. Today, Nicole, the operations manager at the Cal Poly Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, was kind enough to bring me in to give me this conference room for today, and that's where I'm going to be coming to you from. So welcome to our 8th episode of We Supply America, where we're going to be premiering the episode with the Granite Group, and I'm going to guarantee you guys that this is absolutely the perfect capstone for season 1 of We Supply America. So as you're coming in on LinkedIn, as you're coming in on Facebook, as you're coming in on YouTube, please be sure to say hello in the comments section. I'll be sure to pull you in. As we're getting set, I just want to share with you, I had this week off. We were planning on Salt Lake City and Las Vegas, and things didn't work out there. So my wife flew into San Francisco. I picked her up. Oh, man, I won't even tell you the day. Was it Sunday, I think? I picked her up on Sunday, and we've been driving down the Pacific Coast Highway. And if you have not driven down the Pacific Coast Highway, I got to tell you, it's absolutely gorgeous. This was one of the stops where the We Supply America RV pulled off the side of the road so we can take some pictures. You see the fog there. I was white knuckling it, everybody, but it was absolutely worth it as we were negotiating the Pacific Coast Highway throughout Northern California. There's the famous Bixby Bridge, just absolutely fantastic and gorgeous as we traveled down the Pacific Coast Highway. And oh my gosh, look at that. I negotiated those highways, you guys, with the coast right there on the right-hand side. Again, there's the iconic Bixby Highway. Again, the whole way I was white knuckling it, but it's been absolutely beautiful. And for those of you just coming in, I'm coming to you live from San Luis Obispo. And in 26 minutes, we're going to premiere the 8th episode of We Supply America, premiering the Granite Group. So come on in. Please say hello to me in the comments section. I'll be sure to pull you in. But I'm going to take a breath. In 2 minutes, we're going to get this thing officially started. All right? So right, hello everybody from San Luis Obispo. Dirk Beveridge with We Supply America. On this 12th week of the tour, I'll give you some of the fun facts in just a little bit. But welcome to our 8th episode, the premiere of the Granite Group We Supply America episode. I cannot wait to bring it to you in exactly 23 minutes. It has been an absolute fantastic summer of going from sea to shining sea, bringing the inspirational stories and championing the noble calling of distribution. So as we get ready to premiere this 8th episode of We Supply America with the Granite Group out of Concord, New Hampshire, let me just share with you some things that have been going on, some fun things if you don't mind. So it was 88 days ago today that I pulled out of my driveway in Barrington, Illinois to start this We Supply America tour. It was the day before Memorial Day on Sunday, May 30th. I pulled out not knowing what the heck was going to happen. And I have to tell you something, guys. I woke up the other day and I said, where did the summer go? But I know where it went. But it has both flown by and, but it's been absolutely great having the chance to tour this country. So over the last 88 days, I have traveled truly from sea to shining sea, from the Northeast in Londonderry, New Hampshire, we're going to learn about today, all the way down to south of Jacksonville, Florida, on up to over to Lafayette, Louisiana, on up to Minneapolis, then across down to Denver, all the way over to Portland, Oregon, where I was, and now I'm coming down the Pacific Coast Highway to cut over to Arizona and then Dallas and Houston before I go back home next week. It's been an amazing summer, an amazing 88 days where I've had the chance to meet with over 30 different distributors, and it has been absolutely fantastic. The stories that have been coming out of this tour and that are going to continue to be told after Labor Day. Here are some fun facts. I'll call them some fun facts about the last 88 days. I have actually traveled through 32 of the 48 contiguous states as of now. I've got 3 more in front of me. I've traveled over 13,300 miles since I pulled out. Just 2 days ago, I paid $5.65 for a gallon of gasoline. That's not a fun fact. That's just a fact, okay? That I paid $5.65 for gas coming down this Pacific Coast Highway in Big Sur. I should have filled up, saved about 50 cents a gallon, but it is expensive out here. As I said, we've talked and met and stopped at over 30 different distributors. I got to tell you, the best part has been the hundreds of professionals throughout distribution that I've had a chance to meet, talk to, learn from, be inspired by, cry with, and just have the chance to meet and hear their stories and hopefully be able to tell their stories in an inspiring and an insightful way through this platform of We Supply America. And it's been absolutely fantastic. I spent 81 of those 88 nights in the We Supply America RV. This has been my home throughout the summer. Again, 81 of those 88 nights, that has been my home. That was one of my fun nights in Connecticut, Newtown, Connecticut, in front of an old insane asylum. That was my home that evening, but it was kind of cool because in another building of that closed insane asylum is the New Asylum Brewery, and that was one of the memories that I had off the road. So, guys, we've got about 19 minutes until we air our 8th episode featuring the Granite Group. Now, let me talk just a little bit about where we've been. I mentioned 88 days ago, the day before Memorial Day is when I pulled out to begin this tour. And I drove up north of Detroit to stage and to learn about parking the RV and all that before filming our first episode on site with the Great Lakes Hotel Supply Group. And I was in a KOA, and then on Memorial Day, that night of Memorial Day, I met our film crew for the first time. Jorby and I had become friends over the year, talking about this, planning it, creating the vision. But this is when we met for the first time. And we started talking, and they went and grabbed their camera. And they said, Dirk, tell us what's going to happen here. So let's go back to the night before I meet my first distributor in the KOA and some words that I shared with the camera. Here you go. And when we start this, as I say, I'm really not sure what it's going to end up to be. The possibilities are really endless, you know? As we go through this tour in June and then July and August, as these shows come out, we're going to be talking about Great Lakes Hotel. We're going to be talking about Benco. We're going to be talking about the other businesses. But we're talking about every distributor and every individual. This is their story. These are the inspirational stories and lessons from across America. This is We Supply America.
It's providing that opportunity. And when you do that, man, and people can make their own lives better, you can be a part of that, that's a noble calling.
Without question. I have to tell you guys, as I'm watching that, I'm tearing up again. Thinking about the people that I've met over these last 88 days, thinking about the stories and how important it is what you all do. You know, I wasn't sure if I should digress or not, but, you know, as we're going live right now, there is just travesty going on in Afghanistan right now. And, you know, people who are wearing the cloth of our nation are just giving of themselves for this country. And my heart goes out to them. My thanks goes out to them. Over the last 88 days, I have met the most amazing individuals, from the warehouse to the drivers, to the marketers, to the leaders, who give everything they've got, who care about what they do, who care about this country, who care about their local community, who care about making sure that product gets where it gets to so that this society can continue. It truly is noble, what you all do. And over the last 8 weeks, we've aired 8 different episodes. And there's been this golden thread through them all. You know, 8 weeks ago, we started with Porter Pipe. And the title of that was Culture is Everything. And in the bottom right, you see Harold there, 83 years old. He's been with Porter Pipe for 30 years. And go back and watch that episode, and you'll hear Harold talk about the leadership of Porter Pipe and how they've been the best boss he ever had, even when he owned his own company. How leadership creates cultures of such meaning is absolutely noble. From there, our second week, we went over to Cincinnati with Wiseway Supply. There's John Kane and I, and on the bottom right, you see Ingrid there. Ingrid is a warehouse associate. She and I spoke through an interpreter. She doesn't speak English. And through an interpreter, I learned about how this job has provided such fulfillment and meaning for her. It truly is noble. From there, we went over to Pennsylvania, where we met with the team at Benco Dental. And there's the leadership team there, and we learned about thinking in decades and not quarters. And when you think about, you know, all the bad news of Wall Street and making decisions for quarters, no, you know, independent family-owned businesses are making decisions for the long term, for the good of their employees and the good of the community and the good of their customers. It truly is noble. On the bottom right is Beth, and the VP of operations, and we got to stand in on one of their stand-up meetings with all of their warehouse associates, where they informed them exactly of the important work they do. It truly is noble. From there, we went to Indianapolis in episode 4, and we met with the great team at Indiana Oxygen. And yeah, it was very, very cool standing with Wally Brandt, the owner of the business, on pit row at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But more than where we were at, it was the stories that I heard about honoring the past, understanding the risk, the courage, the entrepreneurialism that those that before us have taken and have provided the opportunity for us, and then being focused on the future for the good of the employees, the community, the company, and customers and the like. From there, we went up and we shared the story of Great Lakes Hotel and Supply Company. And there you see Mark Israel standing in this garden that he's created for the community during the pandemic. Absolutely, absolutely noble. We see in the bottom right, Carrie, who has this servant heart in everything she does in the accounting department there, as well as a bartender in one of their business aspects. Truly what they do is noble in giving. From there, we went over to Mercer, Pennsylvania in episode 6, and we met with the great team at Hovis. And there you see Cliff and Kurt, and then Cliff's daughter, Grace. And you have to, if you have not seen this episode, like all of them, you have to go back and you have to see the commitment that the family has to their employees, to the community, to the industry, to keeping the trucks on the road that supply America on the road. It truly is absolutely noble. And then last week, we went up to Amsterdam, New York, and oh my goodness, the opening scene with the CEO, Jason, and me on the bridge over the Mohawk River, where he enlightens me about the word freedom and what independent family-owned businesses do for their employees. It truly is noble. And then talking to Katie, her energy about protecting this planet, just as an example. What they do is absolutely noble. And today, I cannot wait to bring to you our 8th episode and with the Granite Group. And you're going to hear about creating a durable engine for growth. So you guys, the last 88 days has been absolutely amazing. When I see that trailer I just said to you, it does bring tears to my eyes. And it wells up the emotion because what you do is absolutely critical. And I am so thankful for every one of you and for those of you that are part of this, sharing your story. So let's start moving in 11 minutes from now. Oh my God, I cannot wait. The capstone of We Supply America, this first season, the Granite Group. There's so much inspiration, so many lessons that you're going to take from there. So let's start moving towards that. And to do that, I have to let you know this platform of We Supply America could not be possible without our sponsors such as Infor and Proton, such as associations like American Supply Association, ISSA, VIPAR, National Association of Electrical Distributors, and others. It couldn't be done without them. So if you don't mind, as we move towards, in 10 minutes, we're going to be airing the 8th capstone episode of We Supply America with the Granite Group. Before we do that, let me bring in a couple of very important people that have made this absolutely possible. And the first one I'd like to bring in is I'd love to bring in Connor Bowling, who's regional sales manager with Proton. Connor, welcome, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How's everything going today?
Yeah, man, once I found the San Luis, the Cal Poly Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship to give me the bandwidth, it's going good. it's going good.
Love it. I'm actually in a Courtyard Marriott in Nashua, New Hampshire. I felt like if I'm going to be a part of it, I got to be in New Hampshire, right? So
there you are, man. There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being I hope it seems like it. So before I came here, I got a room in a Courtyard Marriott for the bandwidth. And when I saw the speed, I quickly closed up and I found this place. So it sounds like yours is a little bit better. Well,
I hope so.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It is. And so, you're up in the heart of New Hampshire. Granite Group is from. And kind of, why don't you please introduce yourself and then Proton to our listeners, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Dirk said, my name is Connor Bowling. I'm a regional sales director here at Proton. Proton is an AI-powered sales platform exclusively serving the B2B distribution business. We focus on growing revenue across four main channels that we see pretty frequently throughout distribution, those being e-commerce, inside sales, customer service, and outside sales.
Yeah, fantastic. And you guys have been such a big part of We Supply America. You've been following it along. You've been on site. Okay. When you think about We Supply America and why it's so important, what we're doing with your support, what comes to your mind, Connor?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I say this once and I'll say it again. Distribution truly is the backbone of America, right? Especially if you look at the past year and a half when it seems that much of the world has stopped, distribution has only gone forward, right? And looking at everyday facets of a life, the food you eat, the lights you turn on, the sinks you turn on, the toilets you flush, everything, right? It all comes through distribution at one point or another. So we're extremely honored to be a part of this journey with you. And, no better person to partner with it than you, Dirk. So we really appreciate your support here as well.
I appreciate that, Connor. And you guys have been amazing partners. I appreciate it. I know we're going to keep this story going on. Connor,
that's right.
I know I got to let you go because you've got a wedding rehearsal to go to.
You're not supposed to tell anybody, but that's all right.
All right. Connor, thank you to you and the entire team, bud. Have a great weekend, great wedding, and we'll be in touch. All right, bud?
Yeah, sounds good. Have a safe trip to Texas. And even though you'll be pulling back into Barrington soon, I still expect to see the LinkedIn feeds, all right?
But they're coming, man. They're coming. We got so many stories to share. They're coming, all right?
All right, brother.
Thanks so much, buddy.
Thanks. See you, man.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that's Connor Bowling with Proton. Again, an amazing organization that is exclusively committed to helping distributors through their AI platform. I encourage you to check them out. All right, we also could not do this without the help of the American Supply Association. And we've got about 8 minutes until we go live with the 8th episode. And as we're moving up towards that, what I'd love to do is I'd love to bring Mike Miazga in, who's the VP of Sales and Membership for the American Supply Association. Michael, hello.
Sir.
Good
afternoon,
How you doing, friend? I am well, buddy. How are you?
Always good. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Thank you so much, man. So, hey, real quick, will you tell everybody about the American Supply Association? And I think we've got a special connection with today's episode there, huh?
We might.
We might, yeah.
So ASA is the National Trade Association for Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Pipe, and Industrial Pipe, Valve, and Fitting Distributors, their suppliers, and then the manufacturer representatives of those products that our members sell. And of course, you were going through the 8 episodes. 3 of those are ASA member companies. You started out in Porter Pipe, right down the street from where I'm at right now in Addison, Illinois. What a wonderful company, and a company on a great growth trajectory. Wise Way Supply, another ASA member, another great company. Of course, wrapping it up here today with Bill Condren and the Granite Group, some tremendous folks up there in New Hampshire and in the New England area. Just a tremendously innovative company that's got a bright future ahead of it.
Yeah, without question, Michael. So thank you so much. And Mike, when you think about We Supply America and what it means for your membership, what comes to your mind there, bud?
I think Connor from Proton touched on it a couple seconds ago. In our industry, it's toilets and showers and valves and fittings. You buy yourself a nice shower system in your house. That's fine and dandy, but if the stuff behind the wall doesn't work, you're not going to be having yourself a nice shower. It's the same thing with distribution. I don't know if this country functions one millionth of the way it does.
Agreed.
Without wholesale distribution. The distributors are kind of the stuff behind the wall. Maybe they don't get the publicity that they rightly deserve, but without them, this country's up a creek, to be blunt.
Yeah, without question. And Mike, you're going to hear from Bill Condren, the CEO, a little bit later today about that very thing, about the need that we've got to raise the awareness about what we do. So thank you so much for being a part of this, Mike. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, Dirk, slip in Bill Condren will be the incoming ASA president for 2022.
The future is bright, my friend. The future is bright. No doubt. I love it. Michael, thank you so very much, man. Have a great afternoon. And thank you for all the support.
You bet, Dirk. Take it easy.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. Okay, guys,
Bye.
we're coming up on to the top of the hour where we're going to air the 8th capstone episode of We Supply America. But before we do that, I'd love to bring in one more guest, and that's Dan Dufault, who is Vice President and General Manager with For. Dan, welcome. And I have to let you know, again, thank you. We could not do this without you. So number one, welcome and thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Derek. Derek, I really appreciate you having me here today and appreciate the partnership.
Yeah, no doubt. So Dan, could you introduce yourself and then Infor to us, please?
Absolutely. So Dan Default, and as Dirk said, the general manager for the distribution business here at Infor. Infor is the third largest business applications company in the world.
Wow.
We have about $1 billion in SaaS revenue. We've just hit, we're in the top 10 for SaaS application companies in the world. So just absolutely fabulous with that. And I run one of our biggest parts of the business, which is the distribution business.
You bet.
And I'm just extremely delighted to be a part of this business.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So Dan, what is it about this business and distributors and, that intersection of technology that you're able to bring to help them move into the future and the like? What is it that does excite you so much?
There's two pieces, right?
Please.
One part that excites me is really about doing it and doing it efficiently, right?
Yes.
Running these businesses, running it efficiently, driving that value across organizations, their customers, their vendors, the entire value chain in distribution, right? So optimizing that for everyone involved, right down to the end user consuming a good. But as I was thinking about this noble calling and why do I enjoy distribution, right? I was thinking about I was down visiting a distributor in San Juan. And, shortly after all of the hurricanes had wreaked havoc down there.
Yeah.
And we're talking about optimizing their business with business applications and about how to run more efficiently and, reduce inventory turns, et cetera. And he said, all of that matters. He said, but, when the power went out, when, the ATMs went down and we had a warehouse full of food and we had people that needed to eat, we stepped up and made sure everyone got fed. It wasn't about the money, wasn't about, anything except the people, our customers. And that would not be possible without distributors investing in their inventory, in their warehouses for people to consume. And it is so important. And we could go across every line of business from safety products, right? With the pandemic, what's going on, to lawnmowers and lawn mowing supplies, that without every element of what our distributors do, we just couldn't exist in the joyous life that we have. And with the security, knowing that when we need something, it'll be there.
Hey, Dan, could I hire you as my marketer? I mean, you captured the noble calling of distribution. Just absolutely beautiful. And that story about the distributor in San Juan, over the last 88 days, these 30 distributors, I don't know how many of them told me about placing bets on inventory so that they could, in fact, take care of their customers, taking care of the local community. And that story is played out over and over again. And thank you for bringing it to our attention. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's been a pleasure partnering with you, and I'm very excited bringing these stories to light and letting the world know what a difference this industry makes to them.
Dan, thank you so very much. And bottom of my heart, thank you for the support. And we got a lot more stories to tell after I get back to Barrington. All right, my friend?
Absolutely.
Dan, have a great day. Thank you. Thank you for the support. So there you have it, you guys. I'm about a minute late to stream this, so we're not going to spend a bunch more time here. Thank you for being here as we are about to stream the 8th and capstone episode of We Supply America featuring the Granite Group. Would you do me a favor? In the comment section, let me know what you're thinking as this episode streams. Today, again, you're going to meet the amazing team at the Granite Group. We've titled this episode, Creating a Durable Growth Engine for People. Think about that, creating a durable growth engine for people. This episode, we decided to flip the script. We typically end with the CEO talking, sharing. Today, Bill Condren is going to open it up, and then we're going to conclude with two warehouse individuals, one a manager and her daughter. And well, I won't tell you at all. Be sure to stick around. Let me know what you think. You guys, thank you for being here. Afterwards, stick around because I have Tracy and Amir from the Granite Group who are going to have a conversation with me about what they are watching for the very first time. So without further ado, our 8th and capstone film episode of We Supply America featuring the Granite Group. Enjoy. In a world of social distancing, remote working, personal challenges, and business disruption, there are businesses with their committed, caring, and passionate professionals who kept America supplied. Distribution. It's much more than meets the eye. The pandemic shined a light on the imperative nature of supply. That light, the noble calling of distribution. These are the inspirational stories and lessons from across America. This is We Supply America.
We just last fall did our 3-year strategic plan.
Okay.
So, we're going to do it via Zoom, and this could be a disaster.
Yeah.
It worked out great. Instead of doing it over the traditional day and a half, we did it over 2 months, and it actually allowed a lot better process to come through it. But as I was preparing for it, I work with a coach myself, and I was preparing for it, and his name is Bob. And Bob's like, Bill, you've got to come up with what's the vision here for the 3 years. And I was like, okay. And he's like, is it a number? Is it a sales number? Like, do you want to hit a certain, you want to hit $500 million? Do you want to hit, is that? And I was like, no.
That doesn't feel right.
Because it's like, I want to hit that number, but I think we'll hit it and go through it if we do our jobs right? And if we're fortunate enough. So, and he's like, well, is it an amount of branches? Like, if we doubled the branch footprint, would that get you going? And I'm like, no, because that's a number too. And I think if we do our jobs well, I think we hit that. So he kept pushing me. He's like, got to be something, Bill. You got to get your team. You got to show your team a vision of what you want here. So finally, I was like, Bob, what we're trying to do here is build a durable growth engine for our people.
Yeah.
And he's like,
there you go.
there it is. And I was like, there it is.
A durable growth engine for your people. Okay.
Correct.
We all talk about customers. We all talk about, but you're talking about a growth, and I know the customers are
Terribly important. You don't do it without the customers.
Right on.
That's what we're here for.
Right on.
Okay. 100. I tell people all the time. If you came to us in our orientations, I tell everyone, listen, you didn't come to work for a wholesaler. If you think you're working in the wholesaler, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
Wholesalers extend credit and move boxes. We are in the service business, 100%.
That's it.
Yes. And when we talk about what we're here for, we say, listen, everything in this building, you can buy somewhere else, usually in a 5-mile radius, often for less money. Horrible business model, right? Unless you're born into it or stupid. I am both. And yet, if that is true, then what is it really about? It's about your people. That's the only differentiator. So it's not lip service. It's the actual business model. It's not just like, oh, you should treat your people well. It's like, no. All we have that differentiates us is our people. And we think if we can build a durable growth engine, a durable and dynamic growth engine for our people where they get opportunities to step up in their career and build the best version of their career, everything else comes from it. Profits come from it. Sales come from it.
Isn't that something?
It all kind of funnels from that.
Customer experience, customer satisfaction.
Yes, because they care about what they're doing, and therefore the customer knows that they care, that they're being cared for, right? But it doesn't start with a metric or a dollar or a number or a figure. It comes with do that the right way for your people, and everything else will fulfill. Give your people, and we have incredible people on our team, give them the opportunities to move on and move up. Good things come from that, we think.
So this is the Granite Group's central distribution.
Okay.
It's located in Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Yep.
We have 62 employees here.
Okay.
42 associates that actually work in the warehouse. That's to include myself.
Yep.
And 20 drivers. So we distribute to our branches every day. We're the only people in the business that do that.
What you guys do here at 3 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yes.
Is going to impact that contractor's productivity, their efficiency, the profitability of their jobs.
Yes. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would be running a warehouse. Yeah. You know, after I got out, some of my military friends were like, what are you doing?
Right.
I go, you know what? It's challenging.
Yeah.
It keeps your mind focused, you know, like a laser.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is all the different people that you meet. You know, we have some young associates that we just hired 2 weeks ago, and they go, you know, this is the first place that I felt like I was important. Like, you know, they were undervalued at their positions. And what we try to do too is also pay them a living wage so that they can support themselves. Yeah. You know, and it's not just about the monetary benefits here. It's about this close-knit group of people, and I think that's not just here at the distribution center. This is company-wide, and it all starts with the Condren family. It's just like when I was in the service, and I'm sure you've met a lot of people that serve. People do things for each other out there, not only because they love their country, but mostly because they love each other.
We're in the foxhole together.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And I guess we take care of each other.
I think there's opportunities for us to be more human, like you're talking about here. Mm-hmm. To be more human and to work with each other, leader to employee, employee to leader, us to society, to unleash that human spirit and to help individuals, you've already said it, fulfill their potential. Don't forget their dreams. Don't forget, you know, the hopes that we have as people, as human beings. And I see distribution as a platform for helping people do that.
I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and I grew up in an environment where I was taught that HR was compliance, and that was keeping the company safe from risk, that was firing people, that was, you know, doing the basic paperwork and getting the basic benefits, and all of that stuff has a place. But I remember chasing people around with forms to sign this, do that.
Wow.
And that's how I led. And that's what I thought HR was. And it really wasn't until I started here that I saw kind of a different way of doing things. And I think if you ask people in my past what they thought, they would say it was nice, and they wouldn't have said that. But it was here when you can walk around and see smiles on people's faces, and you can feel culture. It's very hard to describe, but you can feel it. And it wasn't until I got here that I really felt a culture that was truly people first.
Yeah, I love it. So you come into a place where leadership really believed in people. You know, I love the purpose statement. Part of the purpose statement that says, I might butcher it, but says, because you don't sell anything unique.
Yep.
Often higher prices.
Yep.
It means your people are most important.
Right.
And that means that as an organization, your mission is to recruit, train, and promote people.
Yes. Yes.
That to me is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think when a company is so committed to their employees, not just to get a job done, not just to get a task done, but to that person, to help them grow personally and professionally.
Right.
I think that's noble as hell.
I think so too. And it goes beyond, I mean, the beginning of my career, if you told me I would ask somebody how their mental health is, I would have said, well, that's ridiculous. We don't do that. We don't go there. We don't talk about there. So we've, particularly over the past year, we've gotten involved in our people's lives in ways that we never thought. Now, we're not qualified therapists, but we can ask, are you doing okay? And we have to ask, are you okay?
Yeah.
And if somebody isn't, you know, you're at work for 8, 10 plus hours a day, your boss is going to notice if there's something off. And we can be those connectors to help. We can check in with people. How are you doing? You know, kids are in virtual school all year. How is that for you? Are there any support resources that you need? So there's lots that we can do. So we go, those lines between work and home are blurred.
So blurred. Yeah.
Totally blurred. And it goes beyond just taking work home with you or taking the thought of work home with you. It's you take who you are in to work every day, and you have to embrace and respect and love that whole person. People are messy and complicated and wonderful and amazing, and you know, you can't just take the good parts. You got to take it all.
I came on 5 years ago, and honestly, I can say I've never worked for a company where the CEO knows every employee's name and will meet customers and remembers customers as well. You're not a number in this company, which was always huge to me.
Yeah. Why do you do what you do?
I do it because I love my job, honestly. Yeah. I love my job and I love the people that I work with and I love my customers. Yeah. I care for them. I look at all of the employees that I work with and my customers as more like friends. Yeah. And I appreciate them.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
For the young women out there who are looking not for a job, who are looking for a career, why would you encourage them to look at the business of distribution?
Distribution isn't going anywhere, and it's a way to know an industry inside and out. I mean, I wouldn't know the plumbing industry fully if it wasn't for me being in the distribution, learning all the plumbing and heating products. So it just makes you a whole well-rounded individual. Then you feel like you can conquer anything.
I believe you can conquer anything.
Someone told me the world is my oyster, and I truly believe that.
Brad, thanks for having me. Yeah, really nice meeting you, bud.
Nice meeting you
so
too.
Wait, it says you were a sportscaster. What the hell do you sit on pipe when you were a sportscaster?
Yeah, in another life, I was a sportscaster. Enjoyed it tremendously. Helped me get rid of my Rhode Island accent, which was key.
Yeah.
And then, my wife's also as a broadcaster in the news business, and to have two of us in the business was a little tough. So, once our second child came, I said, it's time to get out of the sandbox, and so went back, got my MBA in marketing, and then started working, and that's how I came across the Granite Group.
Ex-sportscaster.
Yep.
If you want to talk about a sexy business, man,
yep.
It's TV and it's broadcasting and sports broadcasting. Oh my goodness, right?
Yep.
Why would you move to distribution and plumbing distribution?
So that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay. I've learned over time, and I tell this to young people looking for jobs, do you know what's sexy? Is a company that is a leader in its field or in its region, and it's run by great people that has in it, and there is a business model there that's built for growth and a foundation for growth. If you're doing things right, you can have an unlimited career. You can make a great living and be surrounded by great people. And then there's those sexy businesses. There's a lot of flash. There's a lot of perceived coolness.
Yeah.
Do you know what's cool?
Tell me.
It's being around great people, having the opportunity to build an awesome career with a company that's pointing north and has the ability to grow and then nurture. That is sexy.
That I love.
Yeah.
I'm on a mission. A sub goal of mine here is that at the end of the 8th episode here, we obliterate from the vocabulary in this industry that distribution isn't sexy.
I'm not joking when I say that. I've talked to kids graduating from college, and they want to go, I want to sell sporting goods, and I want to be able to, I want to work with a golf supplier. Yeah. Great. You might get a company car and a $25,000 base salary, and you get some free golf equipment.
Right.
Okay. And you know what? It might seem cool for about a year. Yeah. And then you're going to be like, where do I go from here, man? And you're going to be stuck. And I think that there's, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but there's multiple ways you can build a career here, So again, I literally say, just think about what you really want to get out of a job.
What's that career?
You want to have a career, you want to make good money, you want to be around good people. If you're not doing those things, and the only thing that's really cool about your job is that it sounds cool, you're going to be in trouble.
I love. Wow, because guys, I love you, but I was jumping.
You gotta make sure there's fuel for those trucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, if you don't mind, I'm going to look at this man for a second.
All right.
Because I understand you not only are a hockey player, but you ran Bauer Hockey? Is something?
I worked for Bauer Hockey for 8 years.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I got to be the interim CEO and the president of the brands, and was the CFO there as well. So got to combine passion and work at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun.
Really cool, really cool.
Yeah.
You know, when my son was playing hockey, I wish I would have known you then, because that's an expensive sport.
Yes, it is.
How about at the Granite Group, right? Where does I mean, what I see in this organization is excellence. What I see in this organization is a commitment to people, to growth, to customers. So where does the passion, maybe that you found in hockey, you know, where does that come from here at the Granite Group?
I think the biggest thing is really that we are an extremely collaborative company, right? We really like each other.
Yeah.
So therefore it makes it easy to work with each other.
Where my mind's going right now, guys, is what is this all about? You know, what is this all about? I know we serve customers. Everybody talks about that. I know we move boxes. I know you got great relationships with suppliers.
Can I take a
Please,
shot at that?
yeah.
Yeah. So you started by asking me about my experience at Bauer.
Yeah.
And yes, I play hockey and I watch it. I'm passionate about the sport. And there's in the U.S. 2 or 3 million people who play hockey.
Okay.
And it's kind of a little bit of an esoteric thing because you got to love the sport, you got to spend all that money on the sport, and you got to be committed to it.
Yeah.
And but it's sexy. You know, there's professional athletes, and it's all kind of cool and really sexy to be in that space. Now, our space totally different, but it turns out that 350 million people buy what we sell.
My goodness.
And you know, it's not in a little corner in your garage. It's everywhere on your basement floor, in your bathroom, in your kitchen, throughout your entire house. And that is ultimately the customer who we're serving.
That's cool.
So what seems not very sexy turns out to be a pretty big deal.
17 years ago, the only woman for a number of years.
Yeah, I've been here for 20 years. We've been down here for 16, 17, but it was 17 years before we had another female.
And who is right next to you?
This is my daughter, Sydney.
Sydney.
Yeah.
So this has become a family affair at the Granite Group.
Yeah, I have my husband, Sydney's joined us, and my son's here now too.
What is it about the Granite Group that has made this a family affair?
Best place I've ever worked, hands down. You basically can come in, you can be your own boss. You can make the changes that you believe, they back you up. If they think it's going to make you better efficiency, better quality, they back you up 100%. It's not just a job. You don't come to work every day. You're part of it. You're part of the decision making. You've helped create this.
And not everywhere you go has that.
No, not at all. Nope.
Yeah. So as you stand here next to your mother, trailblazer of a mother, right? Trailblazer of a mother.
Thank you.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
I feel really proud. I've always seen the behind the scenes of growing up and watching her go to work and hear about all the stories. So to be able to come here and see everything she's done and how she's impacted the place, it's a good feeling. She's done a lot here, and I like to be able to come see it myself.
And in my mind, not only just see it, but create it,
Yeah.
as you said, right?
Yeah. Next generation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Your story absolutely inspires the living daylights out of me. From trailblazing to not just having a job, to knowing that you are part of the creation mechanism to build and make something great.
I love it here.
What do you love about it here?
It just definitely feels like a happy family environment. Like I can tell the bosses, Mike and Mike, they both care deeply about everyone here, and they look out for everyone. They make sure no one falls behind, and like they put in extra help when people need it. It's a nice environment.
It's awesome. 20 years from now, okay, are you gonna be running this place?
Maybe. She'll be out of here, so maybe I'll take over.
Are you hurrying that up?
She doesn't know how much life I have left in this.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty strong.
Yeah, without question.
It's a lot of moving, a lot of different activity, and every day is different. So
You got a lot of time left, a lot of years left, right?
Yes.
To create here.
yes.
But let's jump out 20 years. If you were asked at your mother's retirement party to say 1 or 2 words or sentences about what your mother has meant to you and meant to this business together, what would you say to her?
Boy, that's a tough one. No, there's just so many good things to say. She's put in years of hard work, like inside here and outside of here, and she's dedicated so much of her life to it. It's inspiring, and she's made this place to where it is today too. I love it.
Proton AI is proud to partner with We Supply America to tell the stories of the industry that we're exclusively focused on serving with our unique software platform. We build AI-powered tools, workflow tools, and sales enablement tools that help distributors grow their revenue. We care a lot about this industry. It's the industry that I grew up in, and we're proud to be a part of this project to help tell the story of the companies that serve America.
Well, there you have it, our 8th capstone episode of We Supply America. And, I did it again. I did it again. This episode, like the others, it touches me because, this business is about people. It's about the people in these businesses, who they are, what they dream about, they care about, who they care about, and doing what they do in such amazing and noble ways. And I am just so grateful for the Granite Group to give us the access, allowing us to get a feel for who they are, what they do, and tell that story. And I hope we've done them justice. I think we have, and I hope we have. But let's have that conversation, if you don't mind, with two individuals who you met in that episode. First, I'd like to bring in Tracy Spanenberg, the Chief People Officer for the Granite Group. And then I'd also like to bring in Amir Rosenthal, who is the CFO for the Granite Group. You've met them both in the film. Tracy, Amir, number one, welcome. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
And thanks for
Boy,
making
what
us
a great
part of
episode.
that series. It was fun.
We
It
hadn't
was fun to
seen
watch
it, so this is it was really, really neat.
Yeah, great. Sorry, and you guys are talking over each other, so I'll kind of direct it. So thank you. And yes, Tracy, so you were saying it. That's what we do. We people say, "Can I see it? Can I see it?" And I say, "No." And so no previews. Although there was one. We broke one rule. We'll get to that in just a little bit here. But Tracy, do you mind if I start with you? Your visceral reaction, seeing it for the first time. What's going through your mind, if you don't mind?
Boy, we do have some amazing people.
Yes.
And Sheila and Sydney, and I knew that would be incredible. And I didn't watch them, and I deliberately didn't watch them. And they both wanted to be here today, and they both had conflicts. And it really hits home the power of our people and family and the incredible people we have working for us, particularly the incredible women we have working for us. And I think you saw that with Michelle also.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to Michelle, Sheila, and Sydney, and the like there. Okay. So thank you, Tracy, for that. Amir, how about yourself? Your initial thoughts, reactions?
I thought it was great. I got a good laugh out of that, seeing that oil delivery truck come in the middle of our interview. That I forgot that had happened, and that was a funny moment there. It reminded me that I've been with the company for 3 years and a little over 3 years. And I remember going through the interview process with Bill and others on the team. And I spent a lot of time with Bill talking about the culture because that was really important to me. I've worked at companies that have very good and powerful cultures, and I've worked at others that are not so good. And it's a lot more fun and to work at a company with a great culture. And it also, I think, drives performance. So what for me, having now worked here for over 3 years, I see that culture. It's stronger than ever. And I think that episode really captured it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Amir. And it really is an amazing culture that you have there. And Tracy, as you say, a people first culture. I'd like to talk a little bit more about that. Amir, when I was talking to Brad first, and talking about distribution sexy and all that, he had some real good thoughts. And then I don't know if you saw in the film, but you hit me with the way you positioned, the hockey industry versus the plumbing industry and the distribution industry. When you came out and said, there's only 2 or 3 million people that you can impact with hockey. But here we're impacting 350 million people. Could you just expand upon that thought and this whole noble calling of distribution from that perspective, if you don't mind?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I did not grow up in this industry, and I had not worked for a distribution company before coming to the Granite Group. And, I had to be very honest, a little bit of that perspective, like, oh, it's a sleepy sort of, not very dynamic industry. And I was very pleasantly surprised. And I learned more about it as I was going through the process of meeting Bill and Tracy and others on the leadership team, Chris. And it's just proven itself to be really true. It's a very dynamic industry. There's a lot going on always. There's a lot of complexity. I'm working from home today, and I've got some hockey memorabilia kind of over my shoulder here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I have any plumbing memorabilia just quite yet, but I'm sure by the time I'm finished working with the Granite Group, I will.
Yeah, that's funny, Amir. And you talk about the complexity. I half joke. I don't know. No, I won't even say that. I don't joke. I learned about the How many SKUs does the Granite Group have? Just ballpark.
Over 100,000.
Over 100,000 SKUs. And on my We Supply America tour, I have about 6 SKUs. And those are the shirt sizes that we delivered, all right? I got to tell you something. The complexity of the logistics of getting 6 SKUs delivered to every site has been a pain in my rear end. So 100,000, man. What you guys do, the complexity is there. Absolutely. Yeah. Amir, thanks. Tracy, a people first culture, something that you said you saw maybe for the first time when you joined the Granite Group. Can you just expand upon that, please? What is a people first culture, and just build upon that, what we saw in the film, if you don't mind.
It's a buzzword, right? You hear that now a lot, you see it now a lot, but to me, what that means is you put your people first. Truly, it's as simple as that. You put your people first, and that can have different meanings. For me, that means our people, and we put them first. We work with them on their development. We give them opportunities. We, like I talked about in the video, which I forgot because, as you know, I hate being on video and it was sort of a blur, talked about getting involved in ways that we didn't see that we would ever get involved in the past, and connecting people to resources and helping. And you spend most of your life at work. As sad as it is, we spend a lot of time at work. And so if we're not putting people first, I mean, really, what kind of company do you have? Really?
Yeah. And I think, with that definition of people first culture and then how the film started and how we titled it, when Bill was going through the thought process of the vision for the organization, right? And then landed on a dynamic, durable growth engine for people.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy and Mayor, I don't know if there's anything more noble. I really don't. To build a platform for the growth of people, for the growth of the human spirit, for the growth of people to achieve their dreams and their goals, and not just talk about it, but to give people that opportunity to move forward and to move up however they define up is I think is different. It's unique. It's special. It's something we all got to lock onto and learn from the Granite Group about. And I think it's noble. And if you don't mind, the story with Sydney and Sheila at the end, a story that didn't make the film because of time and all that. Let me just share it with you now. I'll ask you guys to respond. Sydney, the daughter, is looking at her mother and the trailblazer that her mother was. 17 years there, 5 years as the only woman, to your point, Tracy, right? And then, taking that opportunity where she is part of building the greatness of that organization, and she knows it, she feels it. And then Sydney says, she tells me the story again. It didn't make the film, where if you look out in that distribution center, there's stickers throughout that distribution center everywhere. And that was her idea to help drive productivity. She didn't ask anybody about it. I mean, she got input, right? But she didn't go seek approval. She had an idea to improve that place, and she did it. And to give her that opportunity, to me, that's that dynamic growth engine to help people grow and to make a difference and all that. I think it's amazing. By the way, when people ask me, what do I remember most about these 12 weeks, 88 days, 30 different distributors, it's that conversation, that story with Sheila and Sydney. So, sorry, I riffed there a little bit, but Tracy, when you hear what's going through my mind there on that, this people first culture, this dynamic, durable growth engine for your people, Sheila and Sydney, what's going through your mind, if you don't mind?
So, and that story you shared is one of hundreds or thousands of stories that are happening all of the time, right? And one of our core values is entrepreneurial, and we love it when we see that entrepreneurial spirit in our people, and that's not only allowed but encouraged. So I know we had talked about that before. I love that she did that, and that she felt empowered to be able to say, hey, yeah, I did that, that's mine, and take responsibility for that. And I absolutely love that, and that's what we want. That's what we want. That's growth. That's development. That's having a real stake in the business, and really are people putting their stamp on something that they can see every single day and that impacts us and our customers and be really proud of.
Yeah, I love it. Mayor, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, a couple thoughts. One, I mean, it's really it's an incredibly heartwarming story, and it's obviously not the only example of two generations in the business. We have many examples of that, sometimes three, and that's really, you create a family atmosphere in part by having families work in the same environment, and that's one point that comes to mind. The second point that comes to mind for me is, honestly, Dirk, if you went to any of our branches, there would be a story about how a person has developed over their career. And again, I've only been with the business for 3 years, but I can't tell you how many times I've heard the story of, and it just is happening in our business right now. We're announcing the opening of a new branch, and we opened a new branch not too long ago, and the person who's the branch manager for that branch started as a driver, and has just had the opportunity to move up. The words, building a durable growth engine for our people, are not just words. We actually do it, and you see it time and time again. So those are the two thoughts that come to mind for me.
I love it. And guys, if you don't mind, you guys were a big impact on this. Through the last 88 days, the story is coming together for me about defining the noble calling of distribution. And the second of 7 ethos is, in fact, people. And the way I'm defining that, because it could be, Tracy, you talked about it being a buzzword potentially and all that, right? But those that, like the Granite Group, who ensure that it's not a buzzword, right? That they live it. The way I'm wording it in my mind is that when I see the Granite Group, I don't see 100,000 SKUs. What I see is one platform to help individuals grow personally and professionally. It just so happens we have 100,000 SKUs that we've got to move through this complex system to serve our customers, to help our people grow and the like. And you guys have really impacted my thinking on that. And for that, I appreciate it. Thank you. Now, I did mention that we broke one rule because the Granite Group are rule breakers by definition. We did break one rule with the series, and Bill was not able to join us today. So he is the only person that had access to the episode before it aired. And Tracy, you were kind enough to ask him to watch it and then to make a comment, visceral reaction. So if you don't mind, let me just share with you and everybody else Bill's reaction, and then we'll talk about that, and then we'll start wrapping it up. Okay, you guys? So here's Bill Condren after he watched the film about 36 hours ago. There you go.
Dirk, I just watched the final cut of the Granite Group episode, and I am blown away. In one day, you really captured who we are as an organization. The fact that we put our people first, that it is about a family, that it is about each other. You captured it all in one day, and I couldn't be more appreciative of the way that you celebrated who we are and really found the stories of the people that make us who we are. Ending it with Sheila and Sydney was perfect, because they are so emblematic of the type of people we have throughout our organization, and you really found them and spotlighted them, and I couldn't be more appreciative. I also want to let you know I'm so appreciative of what you're doing for our industry. You and I have talked for years now about how we're such terrible marketers in the distribution space. And if you had any question about what this industry is and the type of people it's made up of, just watch these 8 episodes and you'll come away certain that this is an incredible business with a really bright future. So thanks for all you're doing for our industry. Most importantly, thanks for what you did for the Granite Group. This is just awesome. We were so happy to participate in this. And then the way you really captured who we are and the really special people on our team, I couldn't be more appreciative. Thanks, Dirk.
So Tracy and Amira, that was Bill. And I sent him an email after, Tracy, you sent me the video. And I said, Bill, your smile makes me happy. And that's what I said to him. So just when you saw his reaction, you guys, I don't know, I'm asking for a reaction on a reaction. Anything go through your mind there? Tracy?
So I
go ahead, Tracy. Tracy, I'm sorry.
Okay.
With the delay.
Okay. Yeah, there's a little delay, so
yeah.
Sorry about that. We don't normally talk over each other that much. Occasionally that happens.
Only on my live streams, Tracy.
Only on the live stream. So once in a while. So I had a chance to watch it yesterday, and it was a very, I think a very Bill video, a very, very short and very appreciative. And I have the good fortune to work for Bill and watch a lot of his videos, and he communicates very well that way. And you can tell his sincerity, you can tell his authenticity, you can see that in his smile and the way he comes through, and just and I love also that he mentioned that terrible marketers, because we are as an industry, and we are getting better, but as a company, that's tough for us. A New England company, you don't talk about yourselves all that much, right? And so the fact that you came to the Granite Group, and not just the Granite Group, but all these other wonderful distributors, and highlighted some of the incredible people, and I think that comes through every single time. The incredible people in the industry, it really shows what a noble business we all work for. And I think I look at this and I watch this and I go, if I wasn't already here, I'd want to be there.
Tracy, I love it. And Jordan, our director, and Josh, the other filmmaker, after every location, they said, I want to go to work in distribution. So to your point, yeah. Amir, on your own, any last thoughts, bud?
Yeah, Bill nailed it. I mean, he talked about how you captured the company and how you captured the people and the culture, and we're as Bill said, we're very appreciative to you and to Jordan and to Josh and your crew for you including us in this process and making us look really, really good. So thanks for that.
well, we can only make you look really, really good because you are really, 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 really good. And Amir, Tracy, thank you both so very much. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you opening yourselves up, allowing us the freedom to come and learn the story and tell it. Again, you didn't have, you trusted us to tell the story. And with that, we're greatly, greatly appreciative. I greatly appreciate it. However you're supposed to say that. Okay. So, guys, with that, I could not think of, every episode was fantastic. I think the Granite Group was a fantastic capstone for this initiative. And thank you guys. Thank you both very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dirk.
Okay, thank you. We'll talk to you both later, okay?
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye. Thanks. So, guys, there you have it. Our 8th and final episode, our capstone final episode of season 1 of We Supply America. And I hope you've gotten as much out of this episode and the others as I have. Some people have been asking, and there's going to be a lot more on this. Some people are asking, Dirk, what's next? Well, We Supply America does have a next. And I think it was Dan that said, keep the social things coming after I get back and the like, and we definitely are. I have so many stories to tell. 30 different distributors. We've got video and stories that continue to be told, and I hope that we can stay together as we continue to champion the noble calling of distribution. What I would love to do is just remind everybody, I haven't done this the last couple of weeks, is I encourage you to go to WeSupplyAmerica.net, where each of the 8 episodes are there for streaming on demand. Here's the page that you'll go to for the Granite Group. You'll meet the cast of characters. But I also want to draw your attention, very importantly, to, for each of the 8 episodes, we have Done For You meeting in a kit. Guys, I know that these episodes are absolutely great resources for you and your organization to drive meaningful and deep conversations to further your mission. And in each of those kits, we provide to you meeting agendas. We provide to you the PDF. We provide to you the conversations that you can, should, and might have to help your organization take what we just learned from the Granite Group, what we heard, and have meaningful, deep conversations. I call it lifting and shifting that idea, that inspiration, those lessons into your business. And then also each of the 8 episodes, you will see we have bonus footage for you as well, where we have the full episode, the full 30-minute or so interview that I had with Bill at the start of this episode for you. And I guarantee you guys, it is full of insights, lessons that you can, should, and want to take with you. I'll use this as an opportunity one more time to thank our sponsors, our partners, the team at Infor. We couldn't do this without you. Proton, thank you so very much for your ongoing support. NAED, ASA, Vipar, ISSA Show North America. We couldn't do this without you all. So with that, you guys, I'd like to say thank you for the last 88 days. Thank you for the last 8 weeks of joining me here on LinkedIn and elsewhere live as we premiere the episodes. Everything can be found at WeSupplyAmerica.net. We're going to continue to tell these stories, share these stories. Thanks for being a part of it, everybody. With that, I will see you out on the road. Thanks, everybody.